Welcome to Audible Interlude, a G.I. Joe podcast. I am your host, Dave West, codename Phantom Troublemaker, and that was our new theme song by Chris Lodge of Neon Warlords. Be sure to check out Neon Warlords, and that is a 100% entirely original composition made just for us.
Ooh. I'm your co-host, Noel Wood, codename Crapshoot.
And I'm your Cobra intern that had a bad case of the rot gut earlier. Codename Legion Cub.
Ooh, we might be in trouble because I myself had some interesting times before we went live. So this could be at some point tonight. This could be nothing but Noel.
I hope there's no Jeff Daniels incidents going on tonight.
All right. So with that unnecessary bit of TMI, you can follow us wherever you listen to podcasts. Click the follow button, subscribe to whichever platform it is, and leave us a 5-star review. But most importantly, share Audible Interlude. Share the podcast, the videos, whatever. Tell people about this show. It's the only way we can grow because, as we all know, the algorithm is against us. Check us out on Instagram at Audible Interlude Podcast. And while you're there, check those pinned stories and get yourself some Audible Interlude merchandise. If we see you at a live show wearing any of our merch, we'll give you some free swag that you can only get by wearing merch to a show. We will be hanging out at Toylanta the weekend of March 27th, 28th, 29th. We will have a presence at Joe Fest, and beyond that, I imagine we'll be at Joe Lanta as well. But beyond that, we'll see. We'll see what we can make happen for the rest of 2026. But the big thing right now is just growing the show and putting out the best product we possibly can. And part of that was getting a new theme song for the show. You can join the Audible Army Facebook group, and I would like to congratulate, he is here. He's here. I would like to congratulate our new moderator. Rear Admiral Rex Ship is now officially a moderator in the Audible Army Facebook group. That means he's going to be helping us out, providing content, regulating members, doing a little recruiting maybe. But everybody give a big yo Joe to Rex Ship for his promotion that comes with no pay, no prestige, but I did tell him we'd probably make him up a special shirt. That even we won't have, because technically we're not moderators. This is not the shirt, by the way. This is just bad timing. I just
like how you're taking off clothes and there's more G.I. Joe underneath your G.I. Joe.
It's just layers of G.I. Joe. Wait till I get down to the G.I. Joe tattoo on my chest. So no, I've been downstairs. I've been working today on like lots of different stuff, taxes, website, day job stuff, like working today. And I finally realized at like 10 a.m. that it was really, really cold down here, which is a weird thing that happens. Like as it starts to get a little warmer outside, it gets much cooler down here. So a couple hours ago, I turned my little heater on and turned it off right before we started recording because I know I get hot during the show. I get warmed up. So yeah, it's hit me. I had to get rid of the jacket. But fortunately, all Joe all the time. That's not true, but it's here. You're watching us live on the Needless Things YouTube channel. New reviews going up this week. Classified series Lifeline and Hit and Run. Wednesday. So tonight on the show, we're going to be talking about the G.I. Joe related reveals and things that we saw from Toy Fair this past weekend. Wednesday night, right here on the channel, we are going to be talking about our favorite non-G.I. Joe stuff from Toy Fair this past weekend. Going to have a lot of fun doing that, and that will be a live stream. We don't do as many Needless Things live streams just because often guests are involved, and full disclosure, I don't like scheduling a live event that depends on a guest. Experience has taught me that. But we'll be live Wednesday night, same time, same channel. Check us out. Schedule-wise, you can check out our review of G.I. Joe number 19 this coming Wednesday, wherever you get your podcasts. Our next regular live stream is going to be on March the 2nd. Put it on your calendar now. And look, March is an easy one. All you got to do is remember the dates that we were live in February and just carry them over to March.
And that works 75% of the time. And then that year comes in and throws it all off.
Here, and what comes along and messes it all up. Actually, looking at dates, another unique thing about this, well, that's not unique. A unique thing about 2026 is there are 3 Friday the 13th this year, the most that a year can have.
Mm-hmm.
So we had one in February, obviously this past Friday, which I celebrated by watching all of the post Part 8 Friday the 13th movies. Obviously, we have another one in March. So I saved the other Friday the 13th movies for that. And then we have one in November as well. So a big Friday the 13th year. It would be nice if we could get another movie out of that.
We need to get another Saturday the 14th movie. That's what we need.
I agree with that. You know what? I wouldn't even be opposed to a remake if the right people did it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be worth pursuing because I think there's a lot in that could be updated and still be really funny.
Yeah.
And if you haven't seen Saturday the 14th, check it out.
Yeah, it's one of those like a Student Bodies or a couple of those other like early like 80s horror spoofs that just like they still hold up quite a bit.
Well, Pandemonium is the tip top.
Yes.
Of all of those.
Yes.
For me. Okay. So I don't think we've really got any follow up this time around. Oh, I will say this. I got my first Operation Recall figure in. The review goes up next Monday because this week was just too jam packed. I got the Dark Reaper, which is was designed by our pal Chris Scott, and it's cool. I like them, but I realized because we've talked about the Operation Recall stuff shipping, right? How it's been over the past month and a half or so. Well, actually longer than that, past couple of months. That's been shipping out. And I realized, one, that I didn't order anything until after the Kickstarter was over. So obviously I was going to be delayed on that anyway. 2, I had not originally ordered anything from the first wave. My picks are all from waves 2 through 6 or whatever. So I didn't even have one coming from the first wave. But I got a Dark Reaper after finding out Chris designed that one. Or it's his concept. Lots of people designed it. It's his concept. So I ordered one and reviewed it. But other than that, follow-up wise, I don't think we've got a whole heck of a lot. So we're going to get right into it because we do have a whole heck of a lot of news. You know what? Wait a minute. Wait just a minute.
Uh-oh.
Because we've got a new theme song. It's incredible. A few people might not have been sitting here waiting right when we went on the air. I think we've got to hit it again. That's going to confuse the hell out of me when I go to edit this.
every time I watch
what
through
happened?
it, every time I watch through it, I pick up on something else that I did not catch like the first time, and
so that's I think what makes the video. And for anybody watching, the video is something I put together just from images that we had because I would like my plan. I have other plans for a video to accompany that music, but we had to have something ASAP. And I actually really like how that turned out because there is so much. There are a couple little Easter eggs in there. It's so much of Audible Interlude history. But between now and when we get a full video, I think I might just keep adding images in because that's what I had in my folder of just like cool stuff. Basically, I'm gonna get a little more thorough and just keep adding stuff in, so it's just gonna get faster, and you'll have to pay even closer attention.
That scares me because this was my first time tonight seeing the video,
Right?
And that's why I was completely speechless when we went into the beginning. Like my brain was still trying to process all that awesomeness that I just saw. And even the second time, I'm with you, Noel. I'm seeing stuff I didn't see that first time.
Well, then I'm like jogging my memories, like, oh, that's right. I remember when I did like that Dr. Love character or something for I think it was a Valentine's stream a couple years ago.
And mine, I think mine is in there from that. Well, I think all three of ours is in there. But anyway, it's just fun, and I absolutely love that theme song. And you will be hearing more because that is cut from a larger piece of music, so you'll be hearing more of it as time goes on. All right, so now let's get down to business and let's talk about the news, of which there is much. First up, I don't have any photographic accompaniment here. It's just a quick update from Legends of the Hidden Force. Whiskey Jack Toys wanted to drop an update for February since they didn't in January. Production is complete and the final invoice has been paid for manufacturing. The factory uses a third-party shipping company, and the invoice was paid last week, waiting on confirmation of payment. Chinese New Year starts February 17th, so shipping will happen after the holiday. So that's great news. Legends of the Hidden Force on the way. Looks like there's a decent chance they'll beat Call Sign Longbow. Well, actually, I wouldn't even say a decent chance. They will. Now, Call Sign Longbow is now looking like at the end of the year. So, but again, as I like to say, this stuff has all been worth the wait so far. And in talking to people on the Creators Series and here on Audible Interlude, we have learned a lot about the delays that happen when you're an independent toy company and you're working 7 days a week, and there are delays and there are communication issues with the factory and there's back and forth, and it's a process. It just takes time.
Well, and there's been all these global supply chain, disruptions throughout the last like 6 years. So, I mean, it's that we're still not recovering from what happened, in 2020.
Right. We still haven't even recovered from the pandemic, and it's been nothing but problems since then. Mm-hmm. So, look, I cut these guys all the slack in the world and admire the heck out of anybody who has started up a company or a project or whatever and is still working on it and is still planning to deliver it. Like, that's amazing. I can't imagine having the bandwidth.
And as far as I can tell, all of the ones who, have had experienced these delays, they are, making sure they're communicating as much as they can. They're not just sitting there for, 2 months and not providing any updates. Like you're going to know if you've backed these Kickstarters or whatever, you're getting updates. Like I've actually got a whole folder in Gmail from all the ones that I've gotten from Operation Recall, because I've just been saving those.
Yeah, they've been very transparent about all of these companies. Have been very transparent about everything. I have not been left wondering with any of the ones that I have backed. We also have a Skeletron update. In this, I've got to find. I think I did my images a little bit out of order because I had planned to go back and reorganize a couple of things. There he is. Okay, check this out. This is awesome. And I'm very jealous of anybody that's going to be at ZoloCon and has the opportunity to get from Skeletron, available for the first time at ZoloCon 2026. This beautiful retro 2-in-1 figure transforms from Zargonaut into Commander Zarlord. This is great. The colors are awesome. The greens look beautiful, and you can tell that's a helmet that appears to be removable, and then the back angle has the helmet removed, but we haven't seen the face of Commander Zarlord yet. This is have you guys seen this one?
No, this is my first time. I love it.
So this is an O-ring figure, 3 3/4 inch, in the style of the Skeletron and Call Sign Longbow that we've seen. And that black and yellow just looks so sharp together. And then adding on the translucent green sword visor, just a killer figure. I would imagine, like anything else, after ZoloCon, it's probably going to go up online for to be available, and I will jump on that thing because it's awesome. Or you may well be at Toylanta. I can't remember if Skeletron's actually can. Kristian, do you mind checking that real quick? See if Skeletron's going to be at Toylanta, because I cannot remember off the top of my head. It's on my list of things to look at that keeps growing every single day. So yeah, that's just a beautiful figure. Can't wait to get my hands on that one.
Yes,
so
they will be.
Okay, awesome. There are a couple of things I need to get from them, actually.
Ben Conway and Marco Byrne.
Excellent. So in classified updates, I canceled my Amazon orders for Night Viper and Big Lob, and a number of other things as well. As I talked about last week, I'm really trying to move away from Amazon unless I absolutely have to use them. Night Viper is in my pile of loot at Big Bad, and I did not get a arriving soon email on that one. He just showed up, but Big Lob has the arriving soon email, so he should be in any day now, as well as all of the Fresh Monkey Fiction stuff we talked about last week. Okay. Speaking of, well, this was 2 weeks ago, but we got a little teaser, a little leak, I think it was really, of the G.I. Joe Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles crossover line. We got an art reveal that Brett White had some correct thoughts about. Interesting looking art, I'll just say that. But I do like the green explosion in the background and the fact that they have attempted to kind of copy the Real American Hero art style here. But you'll notice I just jammed all of them into one image rather than going through individually. But we can definitely talk about some of the specific things that we learned over the weekend about this line. They'll be available everywhere starting in July. There will be an Amazon exclusive version of the Turtle Fly Copter with an exclusive Raphael as Wild Bill. And Kristian, you brought this up in our chat, and I immediately got annoyed because this is what they do with the Turtles every single time. Like if you look at, even if you just look at the toy line, the original toy line, there are like hundreds of characters. But every time they do something like this, they reuse the Turtles. Like I've got on the Universal Monsters Turtles, I've got Raphael as two different characters, as the Wolfman and as whatever the heck he was. I don't remember which one he is. I'm trying to look over there and see it. But it drives me crazy because if I'm collecting Joe characters, I don't want Raphael as Roadblock and Wild Bill. Like use a different character. Use that bull. I can't remember his name. Hot Sauce the Bull or whatever he is. You use the bull. It's a cool figure, you know? So Amazon exclusive Turtle Fly Copter. So that's two different versions of that, but it looks like the only difference is that one comes with that Raphael figure. They are also doing a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive version of Leonardo as Snake Eyes that includes Razor as Timber. They are reissuing the Turtle Tank, which this threw me off because if you look at, and I highly recommend you go visit Toy Arc and his tank for, well, Toy Arc is really for me the big hub. Yeah, that's it.
Ground Chuck
the Bull. Check out Toy Arc and Toy News International for just fantastic images, and Preternia. I've mentioned Preternia before just for pre-orders and sales and things like that. But if you're not following Preternia, it's actually better to follow them on Blue Sky because you can't really do links on Instagram very well. Preternia on Blue Sky is like in the morning, that's one of my go-tos is like what's on sale, what goes up for pre-order, what's coming out. Great resource, great pictures from Toy Fair. But they're reissuing the turtle tank. And when I first saw it in the display, I was like, well, that doesn't look like any Joe vehicle, but it's not. It's actually, and you know, I have lots of opinions about the way toy manufacturers release their toys. And it drives me crazy when they have an opportunity, like they're doing G.I. Joe and Ninja Turtles. And it would have driven me crazy if they didn't take the opportunity to re-release some of the old military turtle stuff. And a lot of times toy companies miss opportunities like that. But in this instance, that tank is coming back out, and they're also releasing a 4-pack with those military turtles that comes with a parachute, which is interesting because none of those originally came with parachutes. So that's a nice little add-in, and I'm curious to see what it looks like.
That's so you can bring it to Joe Fest, and when they do the parachute drop, your turtle can just wipe everybody out.
And these will be the only figures they do for this line, which, how do you guys feel about that? Like for me, because I can't help it. I'm going to be all in on this. And like, I'm a little relieved because, okay, this is it. I get this and I'm done, but I'm a little bummed out because I feel like there's a lot of potential, but not if they're not going to go beyond just the 4 turtles, you know?
Yeah. Well, I said, like, there was a couple of, we did little wish casting when we first talked about this. I still want a Baxter Stockman as Dr. Mindbender. Like, that's like a dream crossover for me. But
for how many waves Turtles and Thundercats and Turtles, and especially Turtles and Masters of the Universe got, you think right now with G.I. Joe being, with sales only increasing, that you would have the potential for at least 2 or 3 waves here.
Well, but I will say this, what we're looking at right now, well, and this may be 2 waves, because if you look at Thundercats, what they've already announced for Joe is more than what they've done for Thundercats.
Fair.
Yep. And we don't know what the breakdown. Well, I don't know. It said everything in July. We'll get more details as it goes. But let's take a little closer look at some of the actual figures. Here is the lineup of Joes, which we talked about already, but I just wanted to see some, some nice figure shots of them. I like Leo. Not that I had an issue with him, but I like him even more now just because I think the blue looks so good. And there's history of Snake Eyes in that blue.
Mm-hmm. Well, we've gotten at least one Reaction Plus figure based on it.
Right.
With that color scheme.
Didn't they also confirm that April is only coming with the Ostriker? She won't be a separate carded figure.
I didn't see it confirmed, but I would be willing to bet that's the case. I think that, they all look great to me. But the standout, as we discussed, is Donatello as Dial Tone.
Dial Tonello. And like when I look at these and with all these figures, I just feel like they got it. Like sometimes you'll see these crossovers and you're like, they just kind of do some square pegs and round holes things, but like we wouldn't think of Dial Tone necessarily as being a top tier character, but you got like, who are you going to match up with Donatello? It's perfect.
It's either him or Mainframe. And that's kind of it. And the fact that they dug that deep rather than just making him Stalker or whoever.
I don't like Raphael Roadblock is the one that doesn't really sync up as much for me, but Roadblock's such a top tier character, you kind of have to.
Well, Raph in some of the media is portrayed as being larger than the other turtles. That makes enough sense to me, but the other ones are perfect. And then when we get over to the villains, we've got a little. So we didn't see Slash as Storm Shadow before, which I love. The colors on that are so nice. And then we didn't see actual figures of Bebop and Rocksteady. That Cobra tattoo on Bebop's belly is just chef's kiss. I love it.
I want somebody to be torched to round out my Dreadnoks now, though.
Yeah, I know, and that's what's the bummer is if this is it, then the Dreadnoks are never going to be complete.
Yeah,
and I'm trying to think who would be a good torch. Or if it would really matter.
Bebop and Rocksteady are such an inseparable pair,
right?
That it's almost weird to bring a third character into it, but Well,
Leatherhead,
we already
why
discussed
not? Well, no,
Leatherhead.
Leatherhead would have to
Leatherhead
be
is
Crockmaster.
Crockmaster or even Nagahide, if you're gonna dig that deep. But yeah, like we're not gonna get foot soldiers as either Cobra Troopers or Vipers or Bats, which would really be
yeah, that would be nice.
based on the animation versions.
And who knows if these like just absolutely go crazy, the decision could be revisited. Maybe in the future we could potentially get more. I still don't love Krang as Destro, but at the same time, the figure looks great.
The figure looks fantastic.
He's still my favorite of the whole bunch.
Well, he's the favorite. He's great figure wise, but as far as how the characters mesh, he is the least cooked to me. But he looks great. And then what else have we got? We've got one more nice shot of the Awe Striker, which is more accurate than the classified Awe Striker.
That's what I said.
Why did that happen?
I'm only a little bit angry that we got a better Awe Striker in Turtles than in G.I. Joe.
Man. Yeah, I mean, it's got the right cannon. The wheels are all the same size. The shape is correct. Yeah, sure, it's got some wacky colors and stickers, but man, it's a nice look. And also consider this. These are like standard scale Turtles figures, although with a lot more articulation, which I also appreciate. If you notice, these have better articulation than the remastered Turtles that have been coming out. Like these are Masters Universe Origin style articulation, if not a little better. But these are 5.5-inch size figures. Think about how big that thing is going to be to accommodate all those figures. This is going to be a large vehicle. It's not going to be like all the old smaller turtle vehicles, which is fine. I'm excited for that. Very curious to see the pricing though, because I haven't seen anything about that yet. But Playmates in general has pretty reasonable pricing. So like their classic turtles are $10 or less, like if you find them at retail, which is in this day and age is a freaking bargain. All right, so that brings us to the actual for real Hasbro G.I. Joe classified news. Oh, there's so much. I didn't expect this much because sometimes, like when they've shown so much right before Toy Fair, sometimes it ends up just kind of being like, well, here are the actual figures of those renders we showed. And there's nothing particularly exciting or surprising, but we've got a ton of stuff to talk about. So let's start with, and most of this, or actually I think all of this, good Lord, I think all of this goes up for pre-order tomorrow at 1 p.m. And as we go through, I will note if something is an exclusive or has been listed as an exclusive. So let's get down to business with the oldest thing we're going to talk about here. And that is the Cobra La Royal Guard. Absolutely gorgeous. We've got a lot of really nice diorama pictures that show off those wings and how the various parts interact with each other on this character. This thing still, and this is from a special toy book reveal that came out the week before Toy Fair. Are you guys even more excited about this now?
I am, but there was news about it that should not have surprised me, but it disappointed me at the same time.
Oh no, really?
Yeah, because it's a fan channel exclusive. So
this one's everywhere.
Is it?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That makes me feel better.
From Hasbro's press release, this will be available at most retailers.
Oh,
like all the mainline stuff.
Good, because I had read something over the weekend that it was going to be like Hasbro Pulse Big Bad, and I was like, well, for those of us that work, it would have been nice to get one.
Well, fan channels are never that big of an issue to get, though. And that's kind of the but anyway, no, this appears to be mainline figure. It said most retail outlets.
Good.
If I were collecting the Cobra figures, then I would be excited, but I'm glad I'm not, because I would have to buy at least 2 because it's a troop builder, and that would become a very expensive habit.
Yeah, originally I know we said 1 because of that price tag.
But that picture with my Thona looks great.
We didn't know until this weekend what the price point was going to be, and I will say it is lower than what I expected. It's $42.99. And I have come up with how I am going to get 4 of these, because that's the number I feel I need. And this is breaking news, I guess. I have boxed up all of my Loyal Subjects mask toys, and I will be selling those off.
Wow.
Open to offers now, but I do have plans if nobody wants to jump on it at the moment. But yeah, I'm so dissatisfied with those and with the company's reaction to the problems with those. I'm just getting rid of them, and I'm going to put that money towards
I'm glad I stopped the
because I'd much rather have them.
I'm glad I stopped the Thunderhawk, but I don't think it was worth what I paid for it now.
No, definitely not. Absolutely not. Those, in retrospect, and right now I'm a little extra bitter because it happened so recently, but I think in retrospect, we're going to look back on that first wave of masks from Loyal Subjects as like one of the biggest letdowns in modern toy history. They're just everything involved with it. All right, so this comes with 12 character-inspired accessory pieces, including 2 wings, 2 helmeted, and 1 unmasked alternate heads, spear, removable shoulder armor, swappable bioorganic arm blade gauntlets, sword and weapon accessory, plus a removable soft goods kit. Tons of stuff packed out. We can actually get a better look at the loadout here. Tons of stuff packed into this box. This is beautiful. This is yet again, and we say this a lot because Classified is just so good, but yet another example of Classified at its best, I think, of interpreting those designs and making them something really exciting and modern. All right. Next up, a character that inspired quite a bit of conversation. G.I. Joe Classified Series number 200, Alejandro Balam Sundown Luna Mendoza. What a handle. Price point's $27.99. Standard mainline release. Comes with 5 character-inspired accessory pieces. And let me just tell you, by the time we're done with this segment, you're going to be so sick of hearing me say character-inspired, including axe, knife, hat, and 2 weapon accessories, plus removable poncho. So what a roller coaster ride this guy has been, because from the silhouette reveal that we initially got, which is interesting because I think, if I remember correctly, when they revealed that image, they said that the character reveal would come at a later date because it would require more explanation. But then they just dropped this picture.
They gave us a little bit more explanation, but it wasn't right away. Because they gave us some background on the character, but
from what I understand, Lenny did a lot of press at Toy Fair, which I haven't watched any of because I just haven't had time. And explained quite a few things. I mean, I want a live stream. I don't want to watch Bobo the Toy Poopers.
I was going to say
Instagram story. I want to see a live stream.
I think, for when you put out a new character like this, when you put out your official press releases for them, either put the story there or do
well, guess what, Kristian? Sundown uses his skills and natural tracking abilities as a bounty hunter allied with G.I. Joe, stalking his quarry through the darkened streets and deserts. By the way, there's so many freaking typos in this press release. It is hilarious. So he stalks his quarry through the darkened streets and deserts, crossroads and dense jungles of his homeland. Sundown seeks justice and evidence of his kidnapped brother, Salvador. intent on taking down Headman and the other heads of the lords of the underworld before he and his brother lose theirs. He is relentless in his pursuit. That is awesome.
When I heard Lords of
Okay.
the Underworld, though, I was like, are we getting a Time figure?
Right. See, you were reading all that, and I'm like, TLDR, because we have this killer comment from Reverend Scott Stripling. He looks like Dave Navarro. Boom.
I said Andrade, because
There's-
that's the face that I saw.
Yeah, I see Dave Navarro, but yeah, that looks like Andrade.
I
For
have my
sure.
origin story for him now.
And of course, the name reference goes back to the Cops and Crooks line, which already has ties with G.I. Joe. But it's funny. I mentioned the roller coaster ride of the silhouette of not knowing exactly what he was going to be, but obviously we suspected some kind of cowboy type theme, to the very first shot we saw, which was this terrible picture from a bad angle. And you're like, well, I wasn't impressed. And then finally we got a full frontal reveal, if you will. I think he looks awesome.
Yeah. I think that's great. I think it's a great concept to tie into G.I. Joe. We haven't really seen anything quite like this.
Well, he's like a good guy,
side.
Quinn, or I guess a straight up good guy, because Quinn was, chaotic neutral. I don't know what he would be called, but or no, lawful neutral.
Lawful neutral, yeah.
I think that's about right. Whereas this guy is maybe a chaotic good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited. He looks great. And I love, again, that the classified team is getting to put these original characters into the mythology. They deserve it. They've earned it.
Carlos Salinas chiming in with, the Lords of the Underworld need to tour with Cold Slither.
So is this on your buy list?
I'm an unabashed Rio Blast fan from Motu, so
Heck yeah.
Absolutely he is on my must-get list.
He's a maybe for me. Of course, it's not what I typically buy, but I think the figure looks so good that I kind of just want to see him on the shelf with the rest of my Joes.
Right? Well, and the color of that poncho brings out so much.
Yeah.
And I just noticed, because this happens sometimes, I just noticed his spurs.
Yeah.
That's
which
great.
We've gotten on a couple of figures thus far. I don't know if they're the same ones we got on. Who did we get them on? Zorana, Crocmaster, maybe.
Oh, Zorana. Yeah, you're right.
Zorana
has
them.
I'm pretty sure those aren't her feet, but maybe he's got.
Maybe he has little feet.
Yeah.
Well, no, but I don't know I can't remember if it was a separate piece or if it was. Yeah, I think it's a separate piece that's actually attached. So.
Oh, interesting. Next up, long-awaited, well-deserved, announced on a Midtown Comics live stream with Larry Hama. Finally, G.I. Joe Classified Series number 197, Snake Eyes. And then in parentheses, Dawn Moreno, which I like. I like that she's getting that actual Snake Eyes designation.
Yeah.
Mainline release already went up for pre-order. I ordered mine. I had no problems with it whatsoever. Ordered from Pulse, and I guess I
got mine about an hour
Big
after they went live.
It was same for me. Looks great. Looks exactly like I want it to look. I love that they have the unmasked portrait, but I've always liked that masked design for her so much. That's definitely what I'll display.
And I like the fact she's got bigger arms than most of the female figures that we've gotten in this line. She doesn't look as puny as most of the rest of them.
And full scabbards for her swords.
Yes.
No naked blades. Although she does come with an Uzi that will probably already looks like it's going to be way too big for her. But at least it's not supposed to go in that holster. 7 character-inspired accessory pieces, including alternate masked head, 2 katana swords, twin saya sheath. I didn't know the sheath had a name. And weapon accessories. Rescued as a teen from a bleak life in Cobra, owned into a ninja master, inherited Snake Eye's memories via brainwave scanner. Stealthy, speedy, deadly, you better believe Dawn's a Joe. And every time they mention something from the lore, like the brainwave scanner, like a little part of me is like, ooh, maybe they'll do a brainwave scanner. That'd be cool. Cool diorama piece.
Now that you say that, I'm actually surprised we haven't had any 3D printers make one, or I just haven't seen them.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that either, which is kind of weird because there are, I think, at least 3 different versions of the brainwave scanner. And you'd think surely somebody has done that, although they're all pretty complex. Like it's not just like armored plate with a hat on it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, there's a lot to it. It's a pretty complicated design. So this one, well, we already talked about pre-orders up. Done deal. Got to have it. Next up, here we go. G.I. Joe Classified Series number 201, Cobra Overkill, $27.99. 5 character-inspired accessory pieces, including neural scrambler with wrist attachment, alternate claw hand, alternate plasma blade hand, faceplate, and a blaster, plus removable chest plate. So we speculated about that faceplate, right? I said, I wonder if there's a face underneath there.
And if it looks like Peter Weller.
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
Yeah, they kind of took the worst part of the Spy Troops Valor versus Venom era Overkill to give him that face.
I like the face. And we've got a little story here. Cobra Overkill began as an experimental prototype melding a battle android trooper with a human host, which, by the way, it's been happening in the Skybound comics recently. So I think there's a decent chance we're going to see Overkill show up sooner than later. Matter of fact, that's probably going to be their answer to the bats not functioning properly. Is they'll develop Overkill and he'll be able to control those bats. And that's going to be all kinds of a headache for the Joes. And they've got enough problems, believe me, as we'll discuss on Wednesday's review of G.I. Joe 19. A trooper who ran afoul of a Cobra war game training exercise. And doesn't that just bring another level of pathetic to this? Like, he didn't even get killed in combat. This was during an exercise. So sad, Cobra. Now, with more than 50% of his body replaced by mechanical parts, he leads the bats on the battlefield.
Scale Model Joe's wants to know, does anybody else get a gym teacher vibe from him? And I have to ask, what school did you go to?
Yeah, right?
Maybe no, a Mr. Buzzcut from Beavis and Butthead.
I mean, are you talking about like his little shorts? I do get kind of a little Coach Shorts vibe from his little black situation down there. But no. No, I get more of a gym teacher vibe.
His downstairs mix up.
Yeah. Yeah, poor guy. Is that part of the 50%? Woof. But I'm even more, I mean, we were all pretty stoked about this guy for the initial reveal, but now I'm even more so. And I gotta say, I don't know how I'll display him because the faceplate is very cool, but that face, which also I'm really loving between what is it? The Lacrosse Viper,
the Frag Vipers,
the Frag Viper, the Hydro Viper, and now this guy. They are keeping this sort of common look of these enhanced zombie-ish freaks. I like that this is a thing in the line now. Cobra's violating all kinds of international laws. Speaking of the Hydro Viper, got a better look at this one. G.I. Joe Classified Series number 199, Hydro Viper, $27.99. 7 character-inspired accessory pieces, including helmet, backpack, diving knife, 2 fins, harpoon launcher, and pet Devil Ray. And this is actually, because originally I wasn't including the accessory loadout in this because we're going to look at it. But then I realized, like, it's interesting that they specifically called this thing a Devil Ray, and what other accessories have some specific name, like Overkill's Neural, whatever it is. Like, I actually do think we need to be calling out when we get specific names for things. So we were pretty big fans of the render of this that we saw, but again, even more so, this looks great. Any further thoughts on this guy?
Not from what we discussed the last time. I mean, he's an absolute must-buy.
Yeah, it looks fantastic. I still wish he had, a separate set of hands, but you can't win them all.
Well, but as we discovered, that's a genetic alteration.
Yeah, but you can still, like, you have one that's in a it's still in a clinched. So having one that's always out
having
like
a C
that,
grip.
Yeah,
and so it would be nice to have 2 C grips and 2 spread hands.
That's what I would imagine that you would do.
But with this loadout, like, I would rather have the Devil Ray than that, you know? So I think he's pretty maxed out. And the purple looks a little more vibrant than it did before, so I'm pretty happy with that. And now we know the helmet comes off and the portrait looks fantastic.
It has the hairline.
Yes. Airtight looks like airtight. I mean, this is, again, just classified perfection.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is the most excited I've been about a figure in a while.
G.I. Joe Classified Series number 198, Airtight, $27.99. 5 character-inspired accessory pieces, including signature sniffer, helmet with air hoses, compressor pack, connecting tube, and weapon accessory. Everything you need for some good old-fashioned chemical warfare cleanup. He just looks great. The colors look great. The portrait is incredible. This is... I just couldn't look any better, I don't think.
Yeah.
It could if they slid that holster down just a skosh. It could look better. That drives me so crazy. Is like when they take these pictures, just adjust things a bit. Make the knees, oriented correctly. Slide the holsters down. Like, just take a second. $27.99. It takes a mighty weird person to walk into a cloud of toxic gas strong enough to fell a mutant weightlifter cockroach, but Airtight was a weird kid who grew up into an even stranger adult, which is pretty much a synopsis of his original file card.
I think that's actually taken directly from...
Is it word for word?
Yeah, we did. I mean, we just did that rank and file card a couple months ago.
If you think I remember something from a couple months ago, you do not know me as well as you should after 30 years, Noel. I would like to propose that Airtight's Cobra Nemesis is Night Vapor, because I accidentally said Night Vapor earlier when I meant Night Viper. And I think the weapon would be the Dutch oven.
No, I think it's going to be a cesspool. We got to get a cesspool soon.
We need a cesspool.
Even though, for some strange reason, Airtight was never a member of the Eco Warriors in the original Joe line. It made no sense to me.
Because he was so good, they're like, we don't need to do anything with that design, and we can't just re-release the same figure again. That'd be ridiculous. That's got to be the reason for it. Next up, so we've gotten a lot of really good stuff. I think this is my favorite, except for one thing. G.I. Joe Classified Series number 196, Professor Rotclaw and Cobra Deinonychus. $51.99, which is apparently the new with pet price point, which is really crazy. 6 character-inspired accessory pieces and 1 unassembled piece. Professor Rotclaw includes whip, Paleo Viper helmet, and weapon accessory. Cobra Deinonychus comes with skull and jaw armor, bridle, and unassembled tail, which is, by the way, not an accessory. Don't even... Come on.
Well, Rotclaw can take the tail off and beat people with it, like Arm Fall Off Boy.
So that bridle is the mystery accessory that we saw a couple live streams ago. I am just over the moon excited about this one. Again, a new character with, I will say, one of the worst names I've ever heard in G.I. Joe.
However,
really,
his given name is Crispin Kilgore, and I love that name.
Oh, is it? I didn't even see. That wasn't even in the materials.
No, that was in the. They actually released. It was earlier today, or maybe later yesterday. They released the file cards that.
That's right. Yeah, earlier today.
Yeah,
earlier today they released the file cards, and Rexship did post them on the Audible Army Facebook group. I just hadn't had a chance to look at them yet. Professor Dr. Rotten Butt, whatever. I mean, that name is horrible. I'm going to put him on the shelf and completely forget that's what he's called.
That name's so bad he could have been a villain in the Star Wars prequel movies.
I do look forward to Lenny justifying that name, or even just saying it with a straight face. And I will admit it's possible once we get his thought process behind it, I'll be like, oh, that's an awesome name. But as of right now, not good. Professor Rotclaw serves as pack leader of Cobra's Paleo Viper troopers, which, by the way, that is also awesome. The fact that Paleo Vipers are a thing. Training them to handle the genetically engineered Cobra Deinonychus Raptor packs. This is great. And I will also say this. If you are going to reference Deinonychus Raptor packs, well, put this figure out. Sure, great. But put up like a 3-pack or something on Pulse, so we can actually make a pack of Deinonychus Raptors without having to buy 3 or 4 Professor Rotclaws. So this, I mean, even though the price is a little higher than I would like, this is a must-have for me.
Scale Model Joe says Paleo Vipers are better than Atkins Diet Vipers.
I thought we were waiting for a comment.
Oh, no. I accidentally hit that when I was trying to close out.
So yeah, this is, what about you guys? Is this too much for you, or is this exciting? And I mean, too much as in G.I. Joe mythology, not as in price, because obviously the price is higher than any of us would like.
I mean, I picked up and put down a $27 Desert Scorpion today, so I'm not going to pick up a $51 Professor Rotclaw.
Wow. That Desert Scorpion is well worth the $26.99 or whatever it is right now, for sure.
I'm sure he is, but he's just going to go in a box of other figures that I'm probably never going to open, like all the other ones I have. So, yeah.
Throw up Scale Model Joe's comment there at the end.
Yep. Hey, dinosaurs are canon in G.I. Joe.
Scale Model Joe's, I got news for you. Dinosaurs are canon in everything. But I get what you're saying, but not necessarily as like pets in this manner. It's a little different proposition here.
Yeah, I'm on the fence. Like, he's super cool. When I first saw the masthead, I was like, oh, that's awesome. The dinosaur is awesome. I hate the accessories that come with the dinosaur.
Well, and I hate the whip. That whip is horrible.
Yeah, and
that should never have been used again.
And the unmasked head with that name is a little too Rob Liefeld for me. So absolutely, when I get him, because obviously most of the ones with pets do end up sitting on the shelves for a little bit. Yeah, he'll go by Kilgore and
I'll
wear that masthead.
Looking at it, and since we're talking about it, I will say this. I do kind of wish the dinosaur was a little brighter colors and didn't like match the guy. I don't love the colors on the dinosaur. Although honestly, he should probably have feathers too. So,
well, if they do a 3-pack, and then they make dinosaurs each one a different color, that
would be great.
That would be cool.
All right. Next up, something that we had a lot of conversation about when it was revealed. This is a Fanmazon exclusive. Whatever it's Amazon and online retailers. G.I. Joe Classified Series number 194, Zanya and Dreadnok Chameleon Swamp Skier Vehicle. Price point $59.99, which is, again, a little high, but could have been worse. 10 character-inspired accessory pieces, including alternate masked head, helmet, goggles, glasses, 2 alternate hands, machete, backpack holster, and weapon accessories. So we talked a little bit about this when we saw the render, and I will say I still don't love the chameleon, but I like it a lot more than I did. I think it's still too, like, squarey.
Mm-hmm.
The green, I don't agree with the shade of green that they chose. And the bottom portion with the engine and whatever else, all the pipes and everything, just looks cheap, like Leonard. I feel like, that we've seen some things that are a little over-designed. This is a little under-designed. I think you can't make something at this scale dumbed down like that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Yeah, I agree with you on the color, because it looks like this color looks like it matches all of your G.I. Joe vehicles and not a Dreadnok vehicle.
Oh, we haven't even gotten started on bland green vehicles yet. Everybody buckle up. But look, I'm going to get it because I mean, Zanya's a must-have. The figure looks great.
Yeah. She more than makes up for it.
Yeah. I'm sick of petite females. However, if anybody justifies
kind of
being
portrayed
a smaller
that way.
Female, that makes sense.
Yeah, because when she first shows up in like Devil's Due, she's like a teenager, so she's tiny.
Having said that, she comes with a bunch of gigantic weapons that she is not going to interact with well at all.
Well, as you were pointing out in our chat, she doesn't even interact with the swamp skier.
Oh, right. Yeah, she doesn't really even fit on that thing.
I mean, that photo of her on it at least looks better than the photos I've seen from the display case. In the display case, it looks like, oh, wow, they absolutely did not intend for her to be able to fit on this thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's clearly designed for the male figures in the line. They're as great as Classified can be. They are still working out some challenges with figuring things out. And here, I'll have it in hand and we'll see how it goes. But it does not appear that it was entirely successful. And I want to address something that I've noticed about myself over the past couple of months. in general, on the Needless Things YouTube channel right here, I've taken a lot of criticism for being too positive. And I don't think I'll ever stop being too positive, but I have noticed as prices have gone up, I have become more critical.
I'm certainly more discerning.
No, that's not the right word. More critical.
But I think you can be critical without, just because you're critical does not mean you're negative.
Well, saying I became more discerning suggests that before I wasn't, and I was. So I don't really agree with that. But I'm definitely taking a little closer look at things when I'm having to pay so much more money for them.
You know, I think it's on the Halloweenies podcast where they do the "Would you watch this again?" or "The Irishman," and now we have "Would you buy this?" or "A Loyal Subject's Mask."
Yeah, right. Well, and that's so for years I've been trying to stick to that. And of course, with my new life order, it's becoming more of a reality. But I have always tried to say, well, would I rather have this or this? And, a lot of times ended up not really making the decision. But now I find myself seriously making that decision a lot more frequently than I used to. And honestly, a little happier for it. All right. Next up, another Fanmazon exclusive. G.I. Joe Classified Series number 193, David Red Dog Tapu Tapu and Varujan Taurus Ivezian. Sorry, really everybody in the world. $59.99. When I first saw that, I was like, oh, that's not too bad. And then I realized, oh no, wait, that's not $49.99. That's $59.99. That's $30 a piece. 20 character-inspired accessory pieces. Red Dog comes with 2 alternate hands, football, kicking tee, backpack, knife, backpack. That's interesting because there's only one backpack in the set.
The whole set.
Here we go. Fa'alafai Club, War Club, and weapon accessories. Taurus comes with 2 alt hands, knife, Ottoman battle axe, Klij sword, and weapon accessories. I'm still pretty stoked about these guys. I think they look great. I will return to Taurus as an acrobat and not a strongman, so his physique works for me. I will say the images that we saw from the display at Toy Fair, his weapons do not look good. They're in that silver plastic, and it's so... You could see through the axe. If you look at some of the pictures that were taken, you can actually see like directly through that axe. It's not great. Especially, Kristian, as you pointed out, because we were talking about it, and I said it's really difficult when that's Scale Model. You got to put Scale Model Joe's comment up there.
Scale Model Joe says, that's nobody's business but the Samoan and the Turks.
Istanbul.
And I will say this. If you have never seen They Might Be Giants perform Istanbul live, oh my gosh. I've seen it probably 20 times now. It's different every time, but it is always amazing. As a matter of fact, the last time I saw them, they were in town for 2 nights, and I went to both nights. The first night, they played like one of their crazy big orchestrated, like all the horns and everything versions of it. The second night, just the 2 Johns played it, which I had not seen since like 1992 in a Blockbuster Music. Really fantastic. Anyway, stoked about this set. The price is a little high. Disappointed in Taurus's weapons. Oh, so this is what we were talking about. I said it's really difficult when within the same line you have weapons where some are actually painted silver and look great, Some are in Hasbro's metallic plastic and do not look good. And then, Kristian, you pointed out, or within the same figure, because Taurus has silver painted parts on him and in those plastic metal weapons. It's and look, I get it. Cost. But man, I think what I'm probably going to do is just take a silver paint pen and go over those, because I'm not going to be able to tolerate, like, once I get that out of the box, I'm going to have to do something.
If you gave me the choice of losing 2 of his accessories, like, you know, in order to have them painted, sure. I mean, how many times do we need the stalker gun? Like I feel like there's editing you can do where you've put stuff in there to go, okay, here's the value for why it's $60. And I totally appreciate that. But my discerning eye also looks at it and goes, well, you could have painted those, and then I would have been like, that is a really cool set and worth $60.
Well, and especially looking at them, and they do have paint on them, so you have to wonder, like, as far as paint operations go, once you are putting paint on something, how much more is it to put more paint on something versus, because look, I don't need the fists, as you said, I don't need the stalker gun. Honestly, the football and the tee, I get it. People are going to love it. I don't need it. I would rather have those weapons painted silver than have the football and the tee. But that's personal preference. Well, and you know what? If you get rid of the football and the tee, then you get rid of Red Dog's open hand.
Yeah, his extra hand.
So get rid of his extra hand and his fist. Both of them just have C-grips. That's fine. Or trigger finger hands. That's fine. Like, there's some choices could have been made, but maybe they couldn't have. We don't have enough information.
Very true.
To say that definitively.
They got to have the plussed up versions, so when they eventually do the retro carded single version,
right.
They can do.
Although, like, how are you going to do these as retro card? Because they already just pop right off of, you know, the Sunbow imagery.
Yeah, that's true. They've really captured. I think Brett said it in the comments here that they really captured the likenesses. I mean, they look great. Look, I'm being nitpicky here. Overall, this is awesome, and I am thrilled that we're going to have Slaughter and the Renegades. Like, that is great. Next up, something that I will politely just say not for me. G.I. Joe Classified Series Legacy Collection, Action Soldiers, Special Forces, $42.99, to which I say, duck quaff.
That's insane.
$42.99. 16 accessory pieces, including alternate head, beret, glasses, mask, bandana, dog tags, backpack, helmet, knife, RPG, and weapon accessories. A full arsenal of weapon paraphernalia, SDE included for free.
Yeah, I don't see $15 worth of extra accessories in that pack. And I can't imagine who would.
Look, again, personal taste. This is just too modern military for me. Too Call of Duty, modern military, like that kind of thing. Not my bag, but you know it's going to sell like mad, and good for Hasbro for squeezing everything they can out of that demographic.
If it shows up at,
I mean, I couldn't.
This is the easiest of passes for me.
Yeah.
I still passed on that Marine Sniper at Ross 100 times when she was $17.99, and she's a great looking figure, but it's just not what I need in my collection.
Well, with something like this, it doesn't even come down to value. It comes down to, like, this isn't what I am into Joe for. And same thing with that sniper. I've same as you. That is actually a thing. Well, I think I saw them at Ollie's, the sniper and the paratrooper, right? Saw them at Ollie's for like $10 or $12 each. And I was just like, nah, it's just not. In this day and age, prices being what they are, this is just not for me. But again, Hasbro's making them, and
somebody's buying them.
There is a market for this stuff for sure, and they need to be satisfying that market. But next up, we're going way to the opposite end of the fantasy military spectrum. Oh wait, sorry. If everybody didn't appreciate my duck quaff, Duck Quaff will be making many future appearances. Everybody rest assured.
Can we get Duck Quaff in
Kristian,
classified?
Did you just get that?
No. I got it earlier. It's just the
Okay.
more I look at it, the more absurd and amused I
And if you're
am.
only listening, that's just what's on the screen right now. Just a good old fashioned duck quaff. Walmart exclusive G.I. Joe Classified Series number 202 Night Creeper Dire Tech, $27.99. Probably going up for pre-order sometime between March 12th and March 27th. That appears to be the next Walmart Collector Con. 8 accessory pieces, including alternate head, 2 knives, crossbow bolt, backpack, and 2 dire projection swords. Because of the Night Creeper's Zen-like discipline and Cobra's own delvings into areas of arcane mysticism, these adherents are particularly well-suited to manipulate dire, dread-inducing responsive energy tech manifestations, giving them the ability to emanate both mental and physical projections without an accompanying containment pack. So I have feelings here. I am still. Whoops. We can't talk about him yet.
Like,
I was going to say you have feelings, but we're not going to talk about them at all.
That's
No,
what
I just
men
accidentally
do.
tapped the arrow button on my keyboard. So this is awesome, but I'm still look. I'll be completely honest here. I'm still so bitter about the Ghost Viper because it's a figure I really wanted, but was not willing to pay the price tag for, and now it's like $88. It's done the opposite of what all the other store exclusives have done, because all the Walmart and Target exclusives had ended up dropping in price significantly. And that one has only gone up. It's like $88 on Walmart right now. And I'm not, as much as I love Crystal Ball, I'm not messing with this dire stuff if I can't get that Ghost Viper, at least one of them.
I love Crystal Ball. I never envisioned that Crystal Ball needed his own army. I'll just leave it at that.
I mean, look,
not an $88 army.
I feel like they've themed this so well. It's such a cool thing, and I love it. But I guess I'm not pursuing it in protest, because that Ghost Viper was so grotesquely overpriced, in my opinion, and more so now. But I do think this looks really cool. And what I didn't notice when we first saw it was the green translucent arms, which is on the one hand looks awesome, but on the other hand, does that make sense?
That's
and I don't care if it makes sense. I'm just asking if it makes sense.
Because when I first saw this, I love these colors for the Night Creeper. Like, this makes sense for someone fighting in the shadows. And if I was into the dire thing, then those the green translucent arms would be so awesome. But I kind of I just want those colors on a Night Creeper. I don't need the dire, but I'm very excited for everybody who is into it, because I do think this looks more cool than the previous one. But I think that's because you have the exposed arms.
Well, and that's the thing, is this is more toyetic. It just is. Look, it's a cool design. I like that they're expanding this dire thing. Like I said, I'll never get over the betrayal of the Ghost Viper by not going on clearance. All right, and we're going to wrap up the Hasbro portion of the Toy Fair reveals. Oh, no, wait, we've got two things after this one. So this to me is kind of the main event. Target exclusive G.I. Joe Classified Series number 192, Ninja Force Zartan, and it is specifically labeled as Ninja Force Zartan. $27.99. Goes up for pre-order tomorrow along with everything else. Limited quantities will be available on Hasbro Pulse. 10 character-inspired accessory pieces, including coiled 2 knives, 2 swords, a kama, a quiver of arrows, compound bow, and 2 detachable bowstrings, 1 at rest and 1 drawn with attached knocked arrow. Master of Disguise Zartan understands that sometimes the best way to hide is in plain sight. You'll be too distracted by his bright orange mohawk to notice the arrow he sent to bullseye your chest. And
those cowards.
Props to whoever wrote that, because justifying his garish look as like a distraction, I love it. That's the kind of justification I need. This figure is a must-have. The colors are fantastic. It looks even better now than it did when we saw the renders before. And as we discussed, the scabbards for his blades, like, mostly cover them. This is not as offensive to me as if those were like full-size swords. So this works. He's great. He's a must-have.
Well, I'm surprised you said the colors, and we talked earlier about like dull green. I do wish his pants were that bright neon green, and not essentially the same color as the chameleon. But it's, to me, that's minor. It's not.
Well, I think the fact that they've got that bright purple to contrast them makes them look better. And look, I will never argue. Yes, they could be a brighter green for sure, but I think he looks great.
Yeah.
And looking at him now and hearing that description, I going all the way back to the beginning of the episode and our TMNT crossover, give me Mutagen Man Zartan.
I'm just sad that I will
like?
never be able to own him because he's going on sale tomorrow at 1 p.m.
on Target, which is never the easiest.
No, Target's like instant sellouts.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, it might be easier to get him from Pulse if you happen to be available at 1 p.m.
I will not. So unfortunately, I'm the old grind has pretty much resigned this to being a wish for me.
I will be sitting here at 1 p.m. with Target and Pulse open. You know how I do. So if I get both, you can speak for one of those.
All right. Just hoping I can clean up whatever's left on Pulse from the other buys by 2:00 when I get out of that meeting.
All right. Now we got a couple items we got to talk about here. So this is from our pals at HisTank /TFW 2005 /Toy Arc, whatever else. And
reuse those molds.
So we had, you know what? I forgot to load in the picture. So there is, we discussed this in the chat as well. There's a very bland ATV that came out in, I think it was 2011. I sent you guys the link. I can't remember what year it was.
I'm trying to pull it up.
That I never bought because of how dull it looked. And seeing the ferret in this color made me realize that the classified ferret looks more like that dull 2011 ATV than it does a ferret. This colorway is not doing this vehicle any favors. Like, this is some generic ass Joe. This is 100% a pass for me. And I guess go for it. I don't want to totally dump on it, but just zero interest from me. And I Snake Eyes is fine, but my gosh, we've got so many kind of non-traditional Snake Eyes figures in classified already.
Well, in this Snake Eyes, I'm wondering if I think he may be intended to be designed the prototype paint color, because initially Snake Eyes was supposed to have like green pants. Before they decide,
well,
hey,
I mean, they've done green pants Snake Eyes,
yeah,
several times, and it's fine. It's a fine look, but it's well, we didn't get pricing or availability or anything on this one, but I'm certainly not paying, $70 or whatever this is going to be.
Yeah,
I do like that it comes with the Steel Brigade or Steel Core helmet, so that can be a generic driver. I like that they're continuing that. But no, zero interest in this for me. I think there are a lot of more exciting things they could have done. Although I kind of hate that this has soured me on the original Ferret a little bit in revealing how bland the design is, which, by the way, kind of carries over into that Chameleon. Like they're making things look less cool than
the All Striker too. It's not. I mean, it's not unheard of for them to do this at this point.
Yeah. Throw up Nowhere Man Child's most recent comment. Good news.
I'd love this Ferret in a 1/18th scale, though.
Yeah, good news. They did something very close to this. Like I said, did you find it, Kristian?
I did. So in 2011, they released the Tiger Claw ATV, and it, contrary to what the name implies, it is not Tiger Force at all. It is it is very, very Leonard Chapman looking. Like, it looks like...
I didn't buy it. I was all in at the time, but I did not buy that.
Yeah.
Well, do a screen share. I can. I've got Yojo pulled up.
Okay.
Hang on.
I think like
we're deep in it now.
Isometric.
It's just like somebody like shrunk a Hummer and put it on top of a Ferret chassis.
I mean, honestly, when you look at it without a figure, it looks like it's part of the Built to Rule line.
So freaking generic. All right, let's see. Wait, what just happened? Oh, we got a little lag. Hang on. There you go. I mean, it's pretty darn close. There are a couple little extra pieces. Obviously, the giant cannon on the back is something extra.
And like, it's parts of it are it's like essentially it's a remold of the Ferret, because those wheels are straight from the original 80s Ferret.
Yeah, it's not the best. Well, yeah, you're right. It is. It's just the Ferret with some snap-on pieces.
Yeah,
because if you look at the chassis of it, it's got the those black pieces over the rear wheels. It's just got some extra stuff. It's got steps instead of the rockets. If you look at that, those steps are just pushed onto the rocket pegs. Wow. Anyway,
it looks better than that at other angles, but it's still not a great vehicle.
So there's that. And then another repaint that I think, let me get rid of this. Hang on. This is messing up my whole. There we go. Another repaint that is, to me, a lot more successful, because I bought several of these, and this is another from the 2000. Well, it might be was it also 2011? Hang on, I'm looking. No, it might have been 2010. but it's that same era. Redeco of the Trouble Bubble. Yeah. 2010 with a great red bubble on it, black and gray design. This one I think looks really cool, but I already own a few from back then, and I really don't need just larger versions of them. But this one I think is a better choice. I think people will probably get more excited about this. Although it's a little surprising that they didn't go with no, I guess this is probably the best thing they could have done. I was thinking like a blue one or a crimson one. Like do one specifically that's a crimson one, since they've done so much crimson stuff. But this is a good look. I like this recolor quite a bit. I just am not paying, again, $70 or whatever.
I've got
for
four
classified size.
I've got 4 classified Trouble Bubbles between standard and the
yeah,
Python
same.
one.
Yeah.
So
I've got 2 Python and 2 regular. I don't need any more.
Well, and
but looks cool.
For those who didn't know, I believe it was also pointed out that these are being sold as a pack. So it's not like
what?
It's a box set. It's a battle set. So you can't buy just the Trouble Bubble. It's the 2 vehicles together.
How much is that going to be?
Good question. And like, I think you would be successful with that black and red Trouble Bubble. I don't know that ATV is exciting enough. I don't know. I don't know. And again, depending on that price, probably, because if it comes with figures as well, I mean, $100.
Well, 100 is, yeah, it's going to be more than 100.
I mean, we're looking at, I'm thinking like $150 for this, because vehicles now, look, let's rewind real quick.
And that's the most expensive retail price point that they've had is $100 thus far.
Zanya and the Chameleon is $60, and the Chameleon is a smaller vehicle than either of these. So if you're going to get 2 Zanyas, whatever, that's $120. This, I'm telling you, I think $150.
There's no way. There's no way I would. This, not to be a naysayer, but this may be when we finally discover what the breaking point is for the line.
We'll see. I'll be curious to see what the reception is to this. And I'm sure Hasbro's curious as well.
Oh, Brett has a good point. Maybe they're cutting back on the character-inspired accessories for these figures.
Oh my gosh. Thankfully, we are able to leave that phrase behind. Well, put up Carlos's comment there.
So Carlos Salinas says figure with vehicle were $54.99.
And the operative word there is were. As we just said, Zanya is $60, and the Chameleon is a smaller vehicle than either of these. So this set at least $120, but I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, but they don't price things according to how much tooling.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. There's no new tooling involved in this. This is all just repaints, but again, they don't take that into account typically.
Right.
They should.
Hey, we'll see. Maybe even if this is 110 for all of this, it's still a pass for me, because that ATV for me that ATV is just completely unappealing. All right. Well, moving away from Hasbro and on to Super 7, who also had really more of a pre-Toy Fair presentation, but a lot of stuff that we got to talk about, starting with the new Reaction Plus wave. And Dana, our first, I guess, modern era now encompasses classified, Reaction Plus. our first modern era October Guard figure.
And something we'd speculated on of whether or not they would ever do October Guard again.
Well, and specifically named as October Guard.
Mm-hmm.
So very exciting. Great start to October Guard. Disappointing to see the silver rivets still there. I don't understand what they're thinking. But otherwise, figure looks great. A must-have. Another must-have for Red.
And this is the first time this has ever been done in this style. Like
yes.
we've never gotten a Dana in this Sunbow look.
Yeah. We got a weird this is the best we can do with the parts we have Dana years ago. But now this is a full-on, like, excellent. Happy to see it. Next up, oh, look at that comic book Flash.
Man, I wish he came with a potato and a potato peeler.
And you shared that panel, and you're right. That is exactly what this looks like. But that white trim on the pads, the bright red hair, everything about this figure is just, it reminds me of how much I do want, because I was pretty okay with Super 7 just shifting to Sunbow and not worrying as much about the comic stuff, just because we got to make choices. But this Flash reminded me of how much I love these comic book designs and how much I do want them to keep going with these.
Scale Model Joe's says Chicken Fried Toys has 1/18 scale potatoes.
Tremendous. So yeah, another must-have, and really kind of the start of a new collection, because this is, to me, like the most comic accurate thing. I know they've done other comic looks, but this is really, you put this on the shelf and any Joe fan knows exactly where this look comes from.
Well, my first thought when I saw this, like, ooh, if we're doing comic versions of the 013s, we need to get a breaker with a bubblegum accessory.
Yeah. Well, and we need the red collars. Well, the stuff that they did, that Hasbro did with the comic packs.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I am 100% okay with them redoing all of those in Reaction Plus.
Mm-hmm.
Except for maybe the translucent Cobra Commander. I don't really need that, but they'll probably do it because that's exactly the kind of thing Super 7 does. Oh, good point. Throw up Nowhere Manchild.
It's a big deal getting to actually call him Flash, too.
Yeah, as opposed to Anthony Flash Gambello. It's just Flash.
Well, and Super 7 hasn't had to do that much at all.
Yeah, that's interesting.
They somehow are managing to secure these trademarks.
Yeah. Next up, a movie accurate Chuckles, which we kind of speculated about.
Speaking of which, the classified was not just Chuckles; he was Philip Chuckles Provost. So,
yeah, you're right.
It's interesting that they're able to release a Chuckles.
Next time I talk to Brian Flynn, which hopefully will be soonish, I'm going to try and remember to bring that up. Got the shoulder rig, got the hand blaster. Looks awesome. I mean, we need him.
Yeah, we just got to get our Law and Order and our, Law and Order and Tunnel Rat to get our rawhides.
Movie. That is movie Chuckles, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. The pants threw me off for a second because I was thinking this might be a comic look because I didn't remember him having jeans in the movie, but I just looked up the art and sure enough, he's got those blue pants. I hope he's a little bigger.
That's the one thing that I was a little bit disappointed on, was he wasn't a little bit bigger.
We can't tell.
Well, it's true, but I mean, I was thinking like a bigger upper body, like not quite Raymar, but we've done that bigger figure already in Reaction Plus, and hopefully we'll get it again if we're getting October Guard. Got to get a horror show, right? He can't have this buck.
No, and he won't, though. He won't. Let's see. And then rounding out this next wave, this wacky Valentine's treat of a troop, the Hydro Viper. And I meant to include the picture reference because somebody shared this with us, and I can't remember who it was, but it's from one of the European like yearbook things. It's a European Hydro Viper look from the comics. I think possibly the most Super 7 choice Super 7 has made thus far. So obscure that the first few hours after this image was released, nobody I knew what it was. And that's crazy. I don't expect myself to know what all this is because my memory is garbage. But nobody in our circle knew what this was for a while.
Although in this weird like pink body, he looks like a muscle.
Oh yeah, his coloring is absolutely strange, but I'm here for it.
Yes,
and it means we'll probably get a recolor of this that looks, who knows, maybe a Deke version or something. I don't know. But it's weird. It's great. It's a must-have for me.
And it's odd timing that we got a Hydro Viper announced right after we got announcement about a Hydro Viper in Classified. He does not have the weird hand, though, does he?
No, it looks like he does. Look at that left hand.
Okay.
And look at the package art. I think that's splayed out hand.
All right.
Next up, well, let's just take a look. The USA 250 wave, similar to past waves they've done that were like Glow in the Dark or Tiger Force or Python Patrol or whatever, a wave of repaints and what I think people call pre-paints. When we get a different version of a character before we get the standard version. Although with Super 7, what even is a standard version? So these are all red, white, and blue themed. First up, we're looking at Duke. I mean, it's neat. The blue for me is a little too... if they're going to do something this... I don't know what the word is. If they're going to do something like this, go for it. Give me a bright red, a bright blue. These muted reds and blues aren't working for me. But to be fair, even then, I don't. At $25 a piece, like $100 for a set of 4 non-canon Joe looks. This just isn't. Not for me.
Everybody saw this and just thought it was a Chuckles figure.
Same thing in the chat. Well, no, in the chat, everyone is referencing that it is not Chuckles.
I gave her full screen and not watching the chat.
I do like the red, white, and blue
explosion
in the background. Yeah. Like I think the design and the idea is neat. And if I could pay $60 and get the whole set, I'd do it.
I see the red, white, and blue. I just think, it looks like a bomb pop, and now I want some ice cream.
And they come with a little star-shaped stand, which is pretty neat. It's got the G.I. Joe logo on it. It looks like it's a little translucent stand. I mean, this is neat. This is the kind of thing Super 7 does, and you can take it or leave it.
I do like the stands.
Yeah, they're neat. And they're small. Like, they're not going to take up a ton of shelf space. I've got the Lady J, which is probably the most appealing out of all of them. Although, since they did this, a more standard version of Lady J, whatever that means, is probably coming relatively soon.
Yeah, I saw some people complaining, why didn't they just do the regular one first? I was like, because it's Super 7 and we know we're going to get the other one sooner rather than later.
Well, but it's not just Super 7. It's everybody. Literally, if you've been collecting toys in the past 30 years, how do you even ask that question anymore? Everybody does this. They release the weird color variation to get you to get the people who are like, well, I just want to have a Lady J. And then later, everybody does this. If you're still asking that question, you were either like just born or you have a worse memory than I do.
Yep. Hey, look, I was excited to see the Tiger Force Bazooka, Recondo, and Outback because I knew, hey, in a year or so, I'm going to be able to get the figures that I want.
Yes. So I mean, this one does look pretty cool. Like even though this is not a color that we've ever seen on Lady J, it is a pretty cool looking figure.
Well, and I'm hoping too, because we are just still seeing renders, that these colors might look a little bit better in person.
Sure. And then Snake Eyes, who I do again. I kind of dig the white visor with the red behind it. It's kind of cool looking, but it's not.
Well, he needs more splashes of color on him.
Well, they should have just done white on all of his stuff.
Yeah.
Like what? Now you're being reserved.
Yeah, or like do the red grenades on a white belt, or a white bandolier, something like that, just to make him pop a little bit more.
Why couldn't they have done the camo like they did with Duke? Because Duke's
That
shirt was originally just one color.
Well, the why is probably because this costs a lot less.
Yeah, true.
And then finally, Falcon, which was the one that was teased that we were all like, "What the heck is this?"
Well, and actually, I like this figure. This is if I got to buy one of these, it'll be this one, because I think that he works because he's got that same camo pattern head to toe, and it kind of looks like almost like an urban camouflage version of Falcon. And yeah, with the gray accessories, I think the gray like webbing I think works pretty well with him.
I agree that this one looks the most like a variant that might have actually existed, but still just not anything I need. Again, unless they're doing something crazy and this whole set is $60 or even maybe like 75.
Well,
if it's some kind of special package deal, sure. But
so it went up for sale. It went up for sale in the UK for $50 or £50 for the whole thing, which is more like $70-something exchange rate. Entertainment Earth put it up for $100 for the 4, and then immediately yanked it down because I don't think they were supposed to be selling it. It's not the first time Entertainment Earth has done that.
No, it's not. It's not. And every once in a while, everybody does. Because if you remember, Big Bad accidentally put up the first Reaction Plus figures a little bit early, and people got orders in.
I think it will never not amuse me now that the figures to celebrate America's 250th went for sale in the UK.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Or here.
Well, that's the world we're in now.
And
these are a little crazy.
And from what I understand, these are going to go to Walmart first, but they'll eventually be a full release.
I mean, for Super 7, but yuck. And finally, the last Super 7 reveal, and perhaps the most exciting, although I'm confounded. So this is the Comic Collector Series Cobra Commander. It includes a reprint of G.I. Joe, Marvel's G.I. Joe #1, the full comic, and it is Cobra Commander as he looked in that comic, which, like, really cool. Thrilled that they're doing this. But why isn't Flash part of this series? And how much is this going to be?
Well, I'm wondering if this is a one-shot. And maybe that's the reason why Flash isn't part of this series, because, I mean, how many...
No, they referenced it as the Comic Collector Series.
Okay. But yeah, I don't know. I can't imagine they're charging that much more for the comic pack. But
I mean, I figured it would be at least $30, which is...
That's what I was thinking. Because comics now are $5 a pop.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And if it's it's just a reprint of an existing issue of a comic, I think $5 extra is probably reasonable, but could be wrong.
So okay, I agree that $5 extra is reasonable, but we're starting from the 25 that, boy, I don't love.
Right.
Like that's the problem. Is our sense of value is getting so out of whack thanks to the Trump tariffs. Like that Warbo, the Marvel Legends Warbo figure, that was top of my list of wants, but then it came out and it was $29.99, and I was like, well, never mind, I don't need that. I'll either wait for it to go down in price or I won't have it. And it hit $24.99 on Amazon, and I was like, sweet. And then I was like, no, wait, I still don't want to pay $25 for a Marvel Legends figure. And I was like, no, I'm not buying it. And then it went to 21 and I was like, all right, I'll do that. So I've got my Warbow now. But that's what you've got to remember is like, this stuff shouldn't cost this much. It's hard to keep perspective when we have these constantly raising prices, changing our idea of value.
Look,
it's a really insidious thing.
The regular classified release figures are 40% more than they were 5.5 years ago when they first went for sale.
Well, that's I mean, we did this math a few episodes ago. It's anyway. We don't want to get sidetracked. We had plenty to talk about this episode, but everything is too expensive. We'll just say that. And I believe that wraps up Toy Fair news. Which it's funny. It feels in a weird way. It feels like there wasn't a ton, but it was all pretty good. Like as critical as as comfortable as I was being very critical about certain aspects of it, overall, there's a lot of awesome stuff we just talked about.
Just so much of it was shown before Toy Fair that only a few pieces weren't. So I think that's why it feels like, wow, there's not like if the turtle stuff had not been leaked early, because obviously that was a leak, that would have been, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I agree.
But
well, and I think the reason I still got as excited as I did is we saw those renders, and I've really kind of programmed myself now to not get too invested one way or the other in renders, because we know how different it is. Like, we'll just look at the chameleon. The render of the chameleon was just not good. And I'm not saying the actual product we saw is great, but it's way better than that render. And that's usually how, like, you just can't judge from those. So I've almost kind of muted my emotions about renders to get to the point where I take it in as information, but I reserve my judgment until later on. That's what I try to do anyway. So out of all of that, what would you guys say was your favorite thing?
I'm kind of with you on Zartan. I mean, well, we'd seen him. We'd seen Airtight. Like I said, Airtight was the figure that I've kind of been wanting the longest.
I think he's the most successful offering from what we just talked about.
Yeah.
As far as just like, man, that's what I want. Like he just nails it, right? I'm actually going to go with that, and I'm surprising myself by saying this, but that Reaction Plus Flash churned up so many like nostalgic emotions for me and made me so happy to see that they're doing that. I think that was actually the most exciting Joe related reveal for me. And the Cobra, if they had just dropped the Royal Guard and we hadn't known about it, I think that would be my winner. But the fact that we've known about it for so long kind of dulled that one a little bit. Kristian, what was your favorite thing?
Yeah, I think that's what makes it so difficult, because the stuff that would have excited me the most, we already knew, right? We had already seen renders. And while I like Sundown a lot, it's not, not mind-blowing. I mean, honestly, and this is going to sound kind of silly. I think my favorite thing is Bebop's Cobra tattoo on his belly.
No, that's fair. That's fair, because that's a nice little touch.
Yeah. it reminds me of Roadhog from Overwatch. It fits the character, and now if I ever get a Cobra tattoo, I know I'm going to get it on my stomach. Thug life.
Yes, big giant. Well, let's check in with the chat. We got a couple of people chiming in with their favorites from Toy Fair.
Yes. So, well, first, Reverend Scott Stripling says, I think I'm going to finally start Reaction Plus. I want the comic centric ones. Flash is dope. Brett White chiming in with Ninja Force Zartan, Dial Donello. I'm tired. Star Spangled Lady J. Nowhere Man Child says, I like best the next wave of four Reaction Plus figures, as well as Classified Airtight and Hydro Viper.
I think that's about it.
Yeah.
And that brings us to everyone's favorite segment of the show, where we go to you, the Audible Army, to tell us what to talk about. Be sure you're following Audible Interlude Podcast on Instagram. Every time we're doing a live stream, we will throw up a sound off post where we ask for input as to what we should talk about on the show. And I got to give everybody that pitched in this week credit, because nobody said talk about Toy Fair. Like, we actually got, because that always happens. Like, well, obviously we're going to talk about Toy Fair. We got some different stuff here. So it is time now for Soundoff. First up, and for a very specific reason, Todd 5719 got priority in this week's Soundoffs. On Hasbro Palooza 2, that's right, if you name drop anything from Needless Things in the Soundoff, you will get priority choice in your answers. And Hasbro Palooza 2 is a Needless Things podcast episode that you can find wherever you get your podcast, or here on the Needless Things YouTube channel, where myself, Kristian, our head of research, Ryan Schweck, and Jonathan Davenport got together, which, by the way, Jonathan Davenport, heck of a guy. If you don't know, well, he does lots and lots of stuff, but he designs wrestling gear for Cody Rhodes, New Day, lots of your favorites, but just the nicest guy in the world. So we got together and we had a second edition of Hasbro Palooza, where we picked our favorite things, some of our favorite things from the last 100 years of Hasbro products, and just talked about them and had a great time. So Hasbro Palooza 2, check it out. You talked about the Escape from the Death Star board game, which reminded me of the hours of playing the G.I. Joe Commando Attack game. Did any of you have it or any of the other Joe games? Anyone that you would want to see updated and reissued? So yeah, I actually do. Now, I didn't have any G.I. Joe board games when I was a kid. I don't know why. Well, most of my board games were things that my granny picked up at like garage sales and stuff. But I now own the Adventure board game, the Commando Attack game, the Cobra Battle game, and of course G.I. Joe Monopoly, which I think everybody who was alive in 2009 bought a copy of that.
I have so many branded Monopoly boards that have never been opened.
It's terrible. I mean, it would make the most sense to update I think the Adventure board game is the one where you were supposed to use the figure, like it included game pieces, but you could use the figures with it.
That was the Commando Attack
game. That was Commando Attack? Okay.
Yeah.
Which
like,
I didn't
would
own,
make sense
but I played it a lot.
And have a couple of, like, it would be a great thing for Super 7 to do and include, a couple of figures with it. I mean, I can't imagine how much it would cost, because that is an elaborate game. Like, it actually has environments and stuff. Like,
yeah, I'm looking at it. Like, you build tents and
and they have the three emplacements on either side with a POW camp, and it's actually like a pretty clever strategy game.
Oh, it's a great game. Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's very like similar to like a classic like strategy board game. but with GI Joe characters, and using the 2 dice and everything. So it was a lot of fun. The rules actually get kind of complex, and there's apparently I saw a YouTuber when it reminded me when I was saw this. I went and looked at somebody's review of it, and there have been some like house rules that people have created, like with giving characters special abilities. So that's something that I think they could actually explore if, say, Super 7 was going to do this. Like like say Storm Shadow has like twice as likelihood of like escaping from the POW camp if you roll a certain number or whatever.
Oh
like,
yeah,
things
yeah,
like
that.
So,
makes
yeah,
kind of make it a little more interesting and probably move things along as well.
Yeah, but I love the fact that it had those GI Joe figure stands that also held the little cardboard, because I think even though I never owned the game, my friend Chris did, who also had the flag that I envied. I think some of his figure stands wound up in my collection, so I still have a few Joe figure stands with the little card holders in there too.
Kristian, did you have or play any of these?
I did not have any of the board games. So I'm gonna save my comment for the second part of his question.
Oh, well, we'll go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Okay. So what would I like to see updated and reissued? Well, in this era of phone gaming and retro consoles, I would love to see the GI Joe Cobra Strike game from the Atari 2600 redone, where you just run back and forth across the screen shooting at a giant Cobra head.
Just put on just like a watch.
Yep.
So I feel like I've got to mention this. I've seen a couple of comments about the ads. So StreamYard has a new feature where you can set that. YouTube, it is a pain the way that the ads are set up. Like you have to go manually add ads or turn ads on for everything that you post, and it's stupid. StreamYard has a new feature where you can turn the ads on from StreamYard, so you don't have the extra step of going to YouTube's dashboard to do it. I tried that, but it seems that the ads are maybe much more aggressive than they normally are. So I will not use the StreamYard feature, even though that makes us more money. I will not use the StreamYard feature going forward. I'll go back to the old way of putting ads in here. Next up, Ed at the Beach. What is your favorite non-comic book G.I. Joe story? And I have a feeling we might have the same answer for this. I don't know. I mean, the first thing that always comes up when this question arises is Worlds Without End. I mean, that's mine for sure. That two-parter, it's everything you love about G.I. Joe, but also like a little, it's wild that Sunbow did that. It just is.
I would say that's a top 3 for me, but I still am partial to There's No Place Like Springfield. That was the one that, I mean, it also, both of those messed with my head as a kid. But I just, sorry, I'm maybe stealing your thunder because it's a shipwreck centered episode, Kristian, but
no, because
because Kristian is going to pick
something from Deke.
Little does anybody know, back in 1978, Super Joe had a deal with Cookie Crisp, and there was an Invader comic included in Cookie Crisp. Well, that would be a comic book, though. An Invader flip book.
So my, because mine would change no matter what, very frequently. And right now, because last week it had popped up in one of my playlists again, my favorite non-comic book G.I. Joe story is told in the form of a song, The Ballad of G.I. Joe.
Oh, yeah.
Because
solid.
I have listened to it every single day, multiple times every day for like the last 2 weeks. It's kind of my new hyperfixation.
Oh, you know what? I gotta change mine. Because as acknowledged and approved by the author, our table read of Special Mission Brazil Redux is my favorite non-comic book G.I. Joe story. Available on this channel. So yeah, actually that's my favorite because we were part of it. Silent Interlude. I want to talk about 1992. We got new versions of Destro, Firefly, Gung-Ho, Zap, Stalker, Wild Bill, and Storm Shadow with Scarlet and Zartan on the way the next year. A lot of heavy hitters character-wise, some of whom we hadn't seen since the first few years. At the time, I was disappointed by how much they strayed from their original design since I didn't have access to buying vintage figures. Who do you think had the best new versions from that era? I think Firefly had the best mold if you can ignore the hat brim. Silent Interlude, this happens from time to time. This Soundoff is so good, we're going to do a full segment on it next week. America's Elite 1992 coming next week. So tune in for that. And closing us out, the newly promoted Wreck Ship. I recently went over early 2000s new Joe characters with Joe ARH 42, and we discovered that the Cobra Claws commander was the leader of both the Cobra Choir and Glee Club. Pick a favorite named Cobra character and what club they'd be overseeing as part of Cobra's Cannon Fodder Enrichment Program. Noel, did you have an opportunity to think about this one?
I mean, I didn't have to think. It popped right into my head. Major Blood, of course, is leading the Poetry Slam Club.
Sometimes the low-hanging fruit is the sweetest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, here's what I got. Zaymot from the Sears Wish Book ordered up after the season, got a whole ton of Wish Book rock tumblers for dirt cheap. So he started up the Cobra Auxiliary Gem Polishing Club. So they meet every Tuesday at 6 p.m. and he has all of the members of the Rock Polishing Club load up their tumblers, and he says, all right, now this is going to take a while. So let's go out and have a little smoke break, because these are Cobras. They're evil, so they smoke. Let's go have a little smoke break while our gems are getting polished up. And while they're doing that, Tomax comes in and steals all of the polished gems out of the tumblers and replaces them with regular rocks, so that when the club comes back in, Zaymot's like, well, it doesn't work every time. Better luck next Tuesday. And then he and Tomax go and sell these precious gemstones and key rings on Whatnot.
Now, did anybody actually have the rock tumbler as pictured there?
I wanted one so bad, but never had it.
So I got one for Christmas one year. I am sure
we just lost like half of our viewers.
I am sure that my parents discussed it first and said, we have a basement, so this is okay because we can put this somewhere, because it has to run for like weeks. It spins constantly for weeks to polish those rocks. Right. And it makes the worst noise in the world, not just from the sounds of the rocks tumbling around, but also that engine going. So if anybody bought that who lived in a little bungalow without a basement or something, I'm sure that your parents threw that thing out the window after the first 2 hours. You weren't sleeping if you had that in your house.
Worse even than the uncle who bought your kid the toddler drum kit.
Yes.
All right, Kristian, intentionally saved you for last.
And here I thought I actually went with the lowest hanging fruit because I just went off real world statistics, and the head of Cobra's Dare program would be Headman.
Well, that's just deranged.
I mean, you know, you get the most vulnerable ones that way.
Well, that brings us to the end of Sound Off. We had a fun little time that I forgot to put the banner up for, but that's okay because everybody knows what we're doing. And now it is time for the final segment of the show. That is Joe and Tell, where each of us has a little something to put up on the screen, share with the camera, or whatever, a little visual to discuss and share with the class. I'm going to kick it off because mine is actually part of our presentation here. Something that I've had for a while, and it just hadn't occurred to me to use it for this segment. So a couple of years ago, as part of an eBay purchase, the seller just threw in this incredible trading card. Now, I'm not positive. Is this from those, was it 92 or whatever trading cards that are everywhere?
I don't think it's from those.
Or was it packed in with figures or something? Somebody in the chat knows what this is from. But what we're looking at is live action characters. What is this? Barricade? No, it's not Barricade. Who the heck are these guys? Like, I could, even looking at figures, I couldn't quite tell who they're supposed to be.
The one with the mustache, not his outfit, but his face is reminding me of the live action live action Gung Ho from the Mega Marines commercial. But for all of the live action commercials, they wore toy accurate outfits. So
right. I
don't. According to Brett White, these came with figures.
Okay.
So, well, we've got a card back here that we'll talk about in a second. So Nowhere Manchild says that is Mega Marines Gung Ho.
Yeah, I'm pulling up the ad because it that commercial.
Well, they did the same thing with like Ninja Force and that, like those live action commercials I love them.
And I did finally. I can't remember if it was earlier this week or last week. I have it in my my folder. I did finally find information on not necessarily the studio that worked with them, but on one of the like creative input people for them. So I'm hoping eventually I'll be able to have a deep dive on because these live action commercials are just freaking bonkers.
Yeah, they're so this look is so cool. I really dig it. And then we've got the back of the card is very exciting. G.I. Joe Mission, Search and Destroy. And it says right here, G.I. Joe Mega Marines. Mega Marines were formed for one specific mission, to repel and destroy Cobra's mega monsters. These biotech fighters feature a revolutionary bio armor that's a breakthrough in biomechanical armament protection. Bio. It will aid them in finding and destroying the Cobra outpost that hides Cobra's doomsday weapon. The battle is fierce, but the Mega Marines have the strength, intelligence, and firepower to get the job done. But my favorite part is at the bottom here, there's a G.I. Joe collector's tip. Develop a collecting strategy, such as collecting by year, theme, size, character, rank, military branch, etc. Every collection is unique. Like, that's really cool, and it's a specific reference to collecting.
Yeah, well, and it's kind of bizarre for 1993 because we didn't really think a lot about like toy collecting at that time.
So yeah, I just thought this was a cool little thing, and I need to find the rest of them. And Toylanta's right around the corner, so I'll be keeping an eye out. Toylanta, Joe Fest, Joe Lanta. That's the triumvirate of where I know I have to like focus things and have money ready.
The trio of Georgia Joe shows.
Real quickly, JJ Chandler says, put this into Google trading cards, search and destroy number 4, or put this into Google trading cards, search and destroy number 14, and look for the Yo Joe link.
Was it an Iggy Papa? figure.
All right. Kristian, what you got?
I actually do not have anything because I got home way too close to this starting. So
yeah, your work schedule lately has been a struggle.
Yes.
We will excuse you for this week. Next time, though, I expect nothing but amazing.
Yeah.
Honestly, you could just pull that Invader that's right behind you out and be like, "Look at my Invader again," and everybody be like, "Yeah, that's fine." All right, Noel, what do you got?
So mine actually, this was. You guys seem surprised when I, shared this just privately with you guys a couple last week. But I got the notification while I was out in San Diego, and I wasn't really paying attention much to my email. So I saw it, and I was like, "Oh, cool, it's shipping." I did get the first of my Operation Recall figures. This is General Mortefero, who is the the Orthrus commander. And he looks fantastic on the package. The figure looks great in the package. We got our nice cross cell in the back showing all of our other figures. We got our file card. I mean, there's a lot of the details, the accessories listed and all that. So, feels like a classic G.I. Joe card, but, obviously it's got its own appeal to it. I'm holding off on opening him. I love the way this looks in the package. So it's one of those things where it's like, I don't want to open this figure. But he looks so cool and with that nice, red and black, and he's got the soft goods cape there. The gold mask, only slightly, reminiscent of maybe he would hang out with our Iron Grenadiers if I were to display this guy.
No.
But But yeah, so I'm looking forward to getting the other ones. This was one of the wave ones. I think the second wave is coming out in
it's imminent.
June. May or June, I think, is when it's expected.
Oh, is it that? See, I thought it was sooner than that. I thought the second wave was hot on the heels of the first wave, but I could be totally wrong.
It might be. I think I just remember seeing the email in one of the recent one of the updates in the most recent emails, and I thought it said May or June is when the next wave is expected. But still, yeah, these are fantastic. So hopefully, if you've ordered these, you've gotten some of your first wave figures already, and there'll be more to come.
Yeah, I got two of the Reaper because I wanted one to open, and then I'm going to have Chris sign one at Toylanta because I just really dig having figures signed by the creators. Well, and I think Carson might be there, but it will certainly be at Joe Fest. So
yeah,
I might just get everybody. Doug Hart has been around a lot.
Oh, since I was only showing, I wasn't really telling. For those who are not watching the live stream right now, this is the Operation Recall first wave. I don't think I even mentioned that yet, but
possibly not. That happens to all of us. Well, that is all the show we've got for you this week. Our music is by Chris Lodge of Neon Warlords. Be sure and check out Neon Warlords. They are absolutely fantastic synth rock metal band that I feel very fortunate. Chris was my number one choice to do. Like when I found out we were going to have to do a new theme song, he was the first one I wanted to do it. Unfortunately, he had the time and he had the inspiration and got it done real quick. So check out Neon Warlords. Follow us on Instagram at Audible Interlude Podcast. Kristian, where can we find that toy photography that you do so well?
You can find me on Instagram and Blue Sky under the name Legion Cub.
And Noel, why don't you tell us a little bit about The Finest?
The Finest is an international G.I. Joe costuming club raising money for our charity partner, Canines for Warriors. We will have a table at Toylanta coming up in just like 5 weeks from now, which blows my mind. We will also have presence at Joe Fest, Joelana, and shows throughout the entire United States and beyond over the course of 2026.
You can catch us live again on the Needless Things YouTube channel on March the 2nd. Until then, yo, Joe.
Oh.